now we are taking up one more concentration term, which is normality, and it is very important term for us. Without knowing the normality, it will be very difficult to survive in the chemistry. It is one of the most important concentration term which we are going to use in number of questions. So although other terms are also useful, but normality is one of the most important concentration term which we use during the numerical problems. So normality is expressed by the symbol of capital N. Molarity was capital M. It is normality, which is capital N. And in order to define normality, we say it is the ratio of number of gram equivalents of solute divided by volume of solution in liters. So here the formula of normality, it is ratio of number of equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of solution. In the molarity, which was the first term we discussed, the amount of solute was present in terms of moles, and in the normality it is expressed in terms of equivalents. So this is the basic difference of molarity and normality. So normality के लिए we will be taking the amount of solute in terms of equivalents per liter of solution, that is normality. For example, if we are provided 0.1 normal aqueous sugar solution, then this information will give us, this concentration value will give us the information that it is solution of sugar containing in water. The 0.1 normal aqueous solution means in this case we have 0.1 gram equivalents of sugar present in 1 liter of solution. This is simple information which we are getting by this concentration term of normality. तो अगर यहाँ पे normality 0.1 लिखा है तो 0.1 का मतलब this solution contains 0.1 gram equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of solution. That is the simple meaning of normality. Okay. Now we should discuss what is gram equivalents. It is very important term for us. So gram equivalents, if we want to calculate number of equivalents or gram equivalents, then we can say it will be equal to given mass in grams divided by equivalent mass into volume in liters. So like moles are calculated as given mass upon molecular mass, here equivalents are calculated as given mass upon equivalent mass. So there is difference between molecular mass and equivalent mass. These are two different terms, and it is very wide discussion also to calculate the equivalent masses of one substance. How to calculate equivalent mass of any given substance, it is very wide discussion area. We are going to take up this topic, how to calculate equivalent mass of any given substance, because without knowing this, how to get the equivalent mass, we cannot know the value of normality of any solution. If we are given the mass of the substance, volume of the solution, then we need the equivalent mass. And equivalent mass is something which we cannot learn for all the cases. Like we can learn the molecular masses, it is easy, it is a standard data, but equivalent mass varies. Equivalent mass of one substance varies from one case to another case. Okay, so it is difficult for us to calculate the equivalent mass. It is not so easy in comparison to molecular mass. Nothing is difficult, but if we are comparing the calculation of equivalent mass with molecular mass, then it is easy to calculate molecular mass because it is fixed data. Only one procedure is to be done to calculate the molecular mass. but for the equivalent mass it is not as simple as it is molecular mass. So first of all, now we are taking up what is equivalent mass and how we are going to calculate. So equivalent mass हमें किसका निकालना है, इस बात के ऊपर हम लोग इस चीज को क्लासिफाई कर लेते हैं कि हम लोग जिस चीज का इक्विवेलेंट मास निकालना चाह रहे हैं वो क्या है. तो इक्विवेलेंट मास हम निकाल सकते हैं जिन चीजों के लिए, उनको अगर हम क्लासिफाई करें तो वी मे बी आस्क्ड टू कैलकुलेट इक्विवेलेंट मास ऑफ एसिड और सम बेस और some salt or some iron or some other species redox reactions. I am taking up these cases. So if we want to calculate equivalent mass of an acid, we may write one normal general formula to calculate equivalent mass of any species as equivalent weight is equal to molecular weight divided by n factor. This is a relation which can be applied for any species for which we want to calculate its equivalent mass. Equivalent mass is equal to molecular mass upon n factor. Now for the different species, the value of n factor will be different. Their molecular masses will be different obviously. But the important thing is, for the same species, the molecular mass will be same, but its n factor may vary from one case to another. So that is the beauty of n factor, and that is why the equivalent weight of an species is not constant, is not a standard value. In most of the cases, it will change from one case to another. So first of all, we are taking up what is the n factor. Now our focus is what is n factor. We know the molecular mass, but we don't know the n factor. So how to calculate the value of n factor? Now we are taking up this point. So if we are considering an acid, we want to calculate it for an acid, then n factor for an acid is taken as its basicity. Basicity of acid. And we know that basicity of acid is number of H plus ions replaced और रिप्लेसेबल. यहाँ पे हमने दो बातें लिखी है, रिप्लेस्ड और रिप्लेसेबल, दो बातें हैं. कितने H प्लस आयंस उस एसिड से रिप्लेस किए जा सकते हैं, या किसी पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में कितने H प्लस आयन रिप्लेस हुए हैं, ये दो बातें अलग अलग हो सकती हैं, और इसलिए हमें इन दोनों बातों के ऊपर ध्यान देने की जरूरत होती है. For example, if we are taking up sulfuric acid, then we all know what is its basicity. Yes, very good. So its basicity is 2 because it is going to furnish 2 H plus ions. There are 2 replaceable H plus ions in the sulfuric acid. So its basicity is 2. So now the question is, if we want to calculate the equivalent weight of sulfuric acid, then what will be the n factor of sulfuric acid? So we will say, since it is a dibasic acid, so its n factor will be taken as 2. Here replaceable H plus ions are 2. So n factor will be 2 for the sulfuric acid. But the caution is that we cannot say n factor for sulfuric acid will be 2 in all the cases. There may be cases where we are not using both the H plus ions during the reaction. We are not replacing both the H plus ions during the reaction. For example, if we react sulfuric acid with NaOH, then we know we can move our reaction by 2 paths. In one, we can make sodium bisulfate and by other path we can get sodium sulfate with the help of controlling temperature. So using the same reagent sulfuric acid and NaOH, our products may be different by taking the different temperature path. It may be sodium bisulfate, it may be sodium sulfate. So if we are making sodium sulfate, then we are replacing both the hydrogen of sulfuric acid, and for this N factor will be 2. But here in the case of sodium bisulfate, we are not replacing both the hydrogen atoms. We are replacing only one, not both, 2. So if we are preparing sodium bisulfate using this reaction, for that purpose the N factor of sulfuric acid will be taken N is equal to 1. It will not be 2 in this case. So that is why the N factor of any given substance will change, may change from one case to another. So depending upon that point, how much hydrogen atoms were replaced actually during the reaction, we will get the value of its N factor. So it is not always कि जितने भी हाइड्रोजन एटम्स प्रेजेंट है they will be replaced, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. Mainly when the basicity is greater than 1. If the basicity is 1, like we are using HCl or nitric acid or some other acids where the basicity is 1, then obviously only one hydrogen is there to be replaced and we will be replacing that one. So in that case N will be 1 in any case. But if the basicity is not equal to 1, it is 2, 3, then the value of N factor will change, may change from one case to another. तो यहाँ पे हमें इस बात को ध्यान रखना होगा कि जब हम किसी एसिड का इक्विवेलेंट मास निकाल रहे होंगे तो हमें क्वेश्चन को देखना होगा whether it is simply asked कि भाई we have to calculate the equivalent weight of sulfuric acid. What is the equivalent weight of sulfuric acid? It is simple question to us. So in that case, if we are asked what is the equivalent weight of sulfuric acid, तो हम कहेंगे अच्छा okay, sulfuric acid is a dibasic acid, so we will take its N factor as 2. So in that case, normal case, we will use the N factor of sulfuric acid as its basicity value. But if we are provided a question and in that question we will look at the equation whether we are using both the hydrogen atoms or we are using only one hydrogen atom. तो यहाँ पे हमें ध्यान से समझना पड़ेगा कि हमारे को दोनों हाइड्रोजन यूज कराया गया है कि एक ही किया गया है, and accordingly we will take the value of N factor in such cases. So we will do more practices to clear this point. For the bases, if we want to calculate the equivalent weight of base, then we will say its acidity of base, that is equal to number of hydroxyl ions replaced or replaceable. Again, the same criteria is there. Acidity of base means how many hydroxyl ions are there in the base which it can furnish, which are replaceable or which are actually replaced. तो जैसे यहाँ एसिड्स में हमने किया वैसे यहाँ पे बेस में है. Only difference is acids में we are looking for H plus ions, bases के लिए we will be looking for hydroxyl ions. Again, अगर हमसे इक्वेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन नहीं है, डाटा बेस्ड क्वेश्चन नहीं है, तो उस समय उसकी जो एसिडिटी की वैल्यू होगी वो वही होगी जितने उसमें हाइड्रोक्सिल आयंस प्रेजेंट है, रिप्लेसेबल. और अगर हमें डाटा बेस्ड क्वेश्चन दिया होगा तो एक्चुअली कितने हाइड्रोक्सिल आयंस रिप्लेस हुए हैं हम लोग उसके ऊपर जाएंगे. जैसे अभी सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड का एग्जांपल दिया था, सेम वी कैन डू विद द बेसिस. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर टेकिंग कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड, तो यहाँ पे अगेन देयर आर टू केसेस. We can make this kind of salt or we can make this kind of salt from calcium hydroxide. So it is clear to us, if we are making this kind of salt means we are replacing both the hydroxyl ions, N factor will be 2. if we are making this kind of salt, we are replacing only one hydroxyl ion. Here n factor will be 1. So with the change in value of n factor, the equivalent mass of calcium hydroxide will change. Here it will be equal to its molecular mass. In this case it will be molecular mass by 2. Okay? Next we are taking up for the salts. How to get the n factor of salts. Salts के लिए n factor निकालने के लिए हम लोग क्या करेंगे? N factor will be equal to its total positive or negative valency charge. Okay. Now we know that in any salt we will be having cations and anions. Cations will contribute positive and anions will contribute negative charges. And since salt is neutral, so total positive value and total negative value will always be equal. So that is why we have chosen OR. So whether we are calculating with the positive value or we are calculating with the negative value, the answer will be same for the n factor. So total, but the thing is total. Whatever we are taking is total positive or total negative. That, for example, if we are taking up, say, sodium sulfate. So we know that in sodium sulfate we have 2 sodium ions and 1 sulfate ions. So 1 sodium ion carries +1 charge. So 2 sodium ions will carry +2. For 2 sodium total positive will be +2. And for 1 sulfate total negative will be -2. So we have to take the absolute value. So whether it is +2 or -2, we will take the n factor as 2. Okay. So this positive or negative is equal. But we will not say कि भैया सोडियम है तो इसके ऊपर +1 चार्ज है तो n फैक्टर यहाँ पे 1 ले लेंगे. तो अगर n फैक्टर 1 ले लेंगे तो ये गड़बड़ हो जाएगा क्योंकि 1 नहीं है, टोटल लेना है. तो 1 sodium sulfate is going to furnish 2 sodium ions, so it will generate +2 charge. It will contribute +2 charge. For example, if we are taking, say, aluminium carbonate, we are taking aluminium carbonate. So now it is simple to us. Aluminium carbonate is going to furnish 2 aluminium ions and 3 carbonate ions. So from 2 aluminium it is +6 and from 3 carbonates it is -6. So we will not look at 1 aluminium or 1 carbonate. तो उससे तो दोनों गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. पहली बात, अगर only we are looking at 1 aluminium it is 3, we are looking at only carbonate it is 2. तो अगर कोई कार्बोनेट को देख करके कैलकुलेशन करेगा तो सोचेगा n फैक्टर इज 2, कोई एल्यूमिनियम को देख के करेगा तो कहेगा n फैक्टर इज 3. तो ये इट विल रॉन्ग. तो हमें क्या करना है, वी हैव टू लुक एट टोटल वैल्यू. तो जितने भी कैटायंस है उन सभी कैटायंस के चार्ज को ऐड कर देना है, या जितने भी एनायंस हैं उन सभी के चार्ज को ऐड कर देना है. देन इट विल गिव अस द वैल्यू ऑफ n फैक्टर. तो टोटल पॉजिटिव और टोटल नेगेटिव जो भी आपके लिए इजी पड़ता हो उसमें कैलकुलेट करने के लिए यू विल टेक द टोटल वैल्यू ऑफ पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव चार्ज वैल्यू. So it is for the salt simply. Then we come to the iron. In the case of iron, the n factor will be taken as it is equal to its charge expressed in the symbol. For example, if we are taking aluminium ion, the n factor will be taken as 3. If we are taking sulfate ion, n factor will be taken as 2. If we are taking phosphate ion, n factor will be taken as 3. Likewise. तो जो भी आयन है उस आयन के ऊपर जो उसका वैलेंसी के फॉर्म में जो चार्ज यहाँ पे हम लोग एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हैं उस चार्ज की एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू उसका n फैक्टर होगी. ओके. So for the ion it is very simple. Ion may be cation or anion and we have to look for its charge only. तो total का यहाँ पे कोई consideration नहीं है because we will be looking for one ion only and in that ion how much charge is shown in the form of its valency, that will give us its N value. And last is the redox reactions. So if we are dealing with the redox reactions where oxidation and reduction processes are taking place, then for the redox reactions N factor will be equal to change in oxidation number. This we will deal in detail in the chapter of stoichiometry, how to calculate the change in oxidation number and all. We will do this part in the chapter of stoichiometry. But these are the normal cases which we will deal with: acids, bases, salts, ions. So in that case we can calculate the value of N very easily. Only in the case of stoichiometric questions, redox reactions, there will be large discussion, wide discussion, how to calculate the change in oxidation number, how to calculate the N factor. This we will deal with in detail. Okay?